right by us one.
What
Now
was
it's
that?
ours. The board will never own Groundbreaker. Not while I
What was
breathe.
that? What was that?
Push on, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
Stay down, Hawkhead. What's that noise? What was that? Groundbreaker! Waste of company ammo. I saw some lawbreaker. Are you new here? Oh. Got your paperwork squared away.
Your life was merely an illusion anyway.
fun walking into a prison. They lock me up, I'm liable to kill everyone trying to get back out.
Entering the labyrinth's the easy part. Making it back out. I'm still trusting your plan on that one, Captain. Nice. Now, huh?
Ah, je peux pas.
Found him!
Ah bah c'est parce que je me suis lancé dans une entreprise assez abusée. Je rentre dans une prison de haute sécurité. Je pense que normalement il faut la faire discrètement. Mais là j'en ai marre de discret. Donc évidemment tous les gardes sont... Ah, normalement on cherche toujours à sortir d'une prison mais là je cherche à y rentrer donc... Ah oui non mais là non. Fuck la discrétion quoi.
I'll take your confession now. Everyone all right?
Reste par terre toi. Bon faut dire que la sécurité est quand même pas mal de soldats. Bon après... Ah. C'est où? Quoi, il s'est fait déjà buter? Ah oui. Ah, mes balles passent pas. Merde, je suis où? Ah oui, je suis là, lui. Merci. Ouais, j'en avoir besoin. Ah et merde.
To shred?
I'll take your confession now.
Cover him with something else. Look at that, Captain.
Stay back! Everyone all right? Here's a little trick I learned in prison.
Quelle distance il va me toucher, lui? Mhm. Ah, c'est une max niveau 30. Ok.
Hold it right. Are you new here? I didn't think we were hiring. By the law.
Nicely done.
Ah bah ils ont prévu les vendeurs. Parfait ça. Alors, faut que je répare ça. Je répare ça. Et je répare ça. J'ai encore ce qu'il faut.
Never anger a man of the cloth.
Merde.
Nice one, Captain.
I am a storm!
working as fast as I can, all right? If y'all would quit... Is that a joke? Y'all call me out to fix the FPS and now you're asking... Whatever. I need to fix this before I get in trouble. Forced pacification system. If the prisoners riot, we gas them. It went a little haywire after the last... Anyway, I need to finish this, so get out... Ugh. Of course. Oh, for luck.
Dad.
All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So get in there and fight!
To shreds, you say?
May you find peace in death. was merely an illusion anyway.
Est-ce que je dois avoir une discussion avec le président avant quand même?
Well, look who it is. I'll be damned. I was prepping the studio for our... Ah, I knew I smelled Monarch when you lot walked in. The stench of sulfur, depression, and...
Keep talking, you'll be smelling iron. Ain't nobody so important I won't put a bullet in.
Oh, I would go anywhere to see you fall, sir.
When you go off and get yourself shot, try to avoid taking one to the face. I'll want it recognizable to show to my My word! You've correctly identified the most recognizable man in the colony. It's a wonder what Phineas saw in you. Then again, he's an insane person. Thankfully, he's our insane person now. A proper company man. Yes, he is an extraordinarily obstinate fellow, isn't he? Fine, he isn't working for us per se, but that's between us. As far as my adoring citizens will know, we've turned a dangerous crack. Oh yes, go on, wake them up, add more mouths to feed. That'll solve our starvation. I don't know what half-baked plans that simpleton in a lab coat has been leading you through. Let me ask you something, Captain. Have you at any point thought about not fucking up our entire society?
I believe we could ask you the same.
I'm making actual progress towards stabilization and recovery. You're Oh, right. This coming from the psychopathic outlaw. Yes, I'll try to be more open-minded about your path of wanton dis... We don't. I'll admit, there's no shortage of talent and scientists and engineers there. Look, I'm not an unreasonable man. If you manage to storm the castle, as it were, and make it out of here with Phineas alive, I can't exactly afford more havoc than you've already caused. Fine. If you survive, you'll need someone to sell the rest of the board on your plan.
Ok, je suis censé faire quoi là? Frayez-vous un chemin, tata, parlez à la personne en charge de la personne des conseils, Sophia. Ok. suis arrivé à quel étage là? Ah, je suis juste arrivé de l'autre côté. Okay. Ça a l'air d'être le dernier étage. Ouf. Hop. Merde, je les confonds.
Everything in my life has been leading up to this point. I believe I am ready for this.
Take a breath now, folks. Once we're up there, I suspect we ain't gonna have time to stop.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life. You've been working with Dr. Wells from the beginning. When we moved to arrest him, he was prepared. I lost good soldiers in the attempt. You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty. Typical. Running your mouth in the middle of a crisis. It's almost as if you delight in chaos. I should have dealt with you a long time ago. You were always too dangerous to leave unchecked. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised by your impertinence. Leaving you alive was my greatest mistake. But it is a mistake I intend to correct. I have Dr. Wells in my custody. Once I've secured his cooperation, I can move forward with the program. I can repair the damage you've done. I can set things right. Fair enough. I'm giving you exactly one chance to parley with me.
Intimidation 90, un malot de 60.
Interesting that you think I'm going to die here. I believe I'm more than capable of taking you on. Fair point. I don't know how you've managed to defy the odds. By every reasonable estimate, you should be dead.
Bon,
Yet
je suis plutôt
here
devant
you
l'écran.
stand. I've devoted my entire life to protecting Halcyon. I'm not afraid to die in the line of duty. There isn't much of a board left, thanks to you. You've thrown this system into disarray. Cleaning up your mess will be the work of a lifetime. You were always an unknown variable. I tried to recruit you, but you threw your lot in with that madman, Phineas Wells.
Ah. Merde.
Yes, I'm quite aware of your brazen act of corporate vandalism. By the way, those test subjects you killed, they died in agony. My scientists assure me they can recover the data you've destroyed. You've succeeded in temporarily delaying our research. Nothing more. That isn't true. It can't be. You're trying to manipulate me. That experiment was absolutely essential to the program. My scientists assured me they were close to a breakthrough. They gave me their word. Then it's true. Our research is gone, and not one of my scientists had the spine to tell me the truth. I had to hear it from you, of all people. We're going to have to start all over again. All that research, all those experiments, you've set us back decades. I haven't given up on the program yet. You've caused some complications, but I can improvise. I can fix this.
Il y a des limites quand même.
I haven't lost control of the labyrinth yet. Our security system is still operational. I can still put a stop to you. What? You can't be serious. Oh, for the love of the law. All right. Fine. I can see when I've been beaten. Congratulations, Captain. You've outplayed me. I accept your terms and will return Dr. Wells to your care. I just hope you've made the right decision. The fate of the colony is in your hands now. I bid you farewell, Captain.
Bon. Qu'est-ce que je suis censé faire? Ah! Ok.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You must have said something to get under Akande's skin. She's gone, and I don't think she's coming back. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are all in a day's work for you, huh?
Et quelques sauvegardes.
You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Hal. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
So we've got to make do on our own. Seems to me that'll...
You're quite right. We've got no...
Earth is only an idea to us. But that idea is the bedrock the colony is built upon. If people were to find out it's gone...
I don't want to imagine what'll happen once news gets out. Let's just keep... We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else... We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds. And we're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the... The chairman? I don't know why you let... You're the best thing to ever...
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Sanjar's civil liberties and worker-centric policies were slow to catch on with the other corporations. But as Halcyon began its long, arduous journey toward recovery, many of Terra 2's smaller townships started adopting MSI's alternative corporate structure, and eventually became entirely self-sufficient. In the coming years, many of these townships managed to eke by, where otherwise they might have starved. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater. She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective. She finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name. And in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, an MSI subsidiary of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail, or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. It was widely suspected that Sophia Akande was the true power behind Chairman Rockwell. However, after the riots on Tartarus, she was never again seen in the colony. Various theories circulated as to her fate. Some believed she boarded an interstellar ship capable of journeying to a distant colony. Others believed she died trying to escape Tartarus. Some few suggest she fled to Monarch, where she continued to live among a small band of loyalists. There is another theory, which suggests that Sophia's encounter with you changed her, and she deliberately retreated from public view, but continued supporting the colony in secret. When Dr. Wells began reviving the Hope's colonists, he found himself with a sudden windfall of additional supplies and resources, courtesy of an anonymous donor. If Wells knew who his supplier was, he never told a soul. Chairman Rockwell served as the public face for the changes in Halcyon to come. Whenever you needed strings pulled or a voice to sell a policy change, Rockwell was only too happy to oblige. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus and made Chairman Rockwell your own puppet, a role he was all too eager to play. The colony never realized you were the true power behind the new administration. By acting vicariously through agents and third parties, you controlled Halcyon from the shadows. As a result, Halcyon survived the turbulent years that were to follow. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Fin.